friends, welcome to Awdhesh Academy. Today we learn about percentages. Now we have been using percentages in our day-to-day lives while calculating a percentage during our exams and etc. So we know what is percentage. Percentage is depicting any ratio and multiplying it by 100. As the name suggests, percent, cent means 100. So per 100 value is what we are calculating. So say you scored 8 out of 10. So that would mean you score 80 out of 100. And this is what we are calculating using the percentages. Now another important thing here is calculating the percentage change. Now percentage change is given by change in the value upon the maximum total value multiplied by 100. Like suppose you scored 80 in one test and then in the same test you score 90 out of 100. So that would mean that there is a change of 10 marks. Thus your percentage change would be 10 out of the total maximum marks, which is 100, multiplied by 100. That is, your percentage change would be 10%. Now let's solve some questions based on the calculation of percentages and also to calculate the percentage change. Two students appeared at an examination. One of them secured 10 marks more than the other and his marks was 60% of the sum of their marks. The marks obtained by the better student are, so here we are given two students. Let them be A and B. Now say student B secured 10 marks more than A. So we can take x as A's marks and x plus 10 as B's marks. Now it is also given that the mark secured by B is 60% of their sum. That is 60 by 100 of the sum, which would be 2x plus 10. So you cancel out the 0, then this becomes 3 by 5. Then you cross multiply and you get 5x plus 50 is equal to 6x plus 30. So this gives you x equals 20. Thus, A secured 20 marks and B secured 30. So 30 is your answer. Now, this is the usual method. This is the method you have been taught in your schools and this is the normal approach. But now comes, how can you solve this question faster so that you could save some time in your exams? Now, the method could be A and B are two people and B secured 60% of the total marks. So that would mean A scored 40% of the marks. So the difference between these two is 20%, and this percent in terms of the absolute value, the absolute difference of marks is given as 10 here. So 20% is 10 marks. Now since you had to calculate who secured better marks, which is say B, so B secured 60% marks. So if 20% is 10, then 60% is 3 times 10, which is 30. So this could have been done without solving any equations, and even if you practice well, then you can also do it mentally. So what we have done right now is just the application of a unitary method. If 20% is 10 marks, then 60% would be 30 marks and 100% would be 5 times this, that is 50 marks. So this way you can solve some questions very easily. Now let's move on to our next question. In a village, the production of food grains increased by 40% and the per capita production of food grains increased by 27% during a certain period. The percentage by which the population of the village increased during the same period is nearest to 16, 13, 10, 7. Now we know that total production, say T, will be equal to the per capita consumption multiplied by the population, that is the number of people. Now, if you calculate N from here, this would be T upon C. Now, you are given in the second case that the total production increased by 40%. So, 40% increase means that you now have 1.4. That is, if 100 is T, then 40% increase means plus 40, which gives you 140. So if you write it in decimals, it would be 140 by 100 and thus it would be 1.4. So this way we calculate these terms. So 1.4 times T is equal to Now the change in per capita is 27% increase. That would mean 1.27 C into N has changed to say capital N now. And you have to calculate N upon small n, that is the change in N number of people or the population. So we calculate N as 1.4 T upon 1.27 C. Now T upon C is N, thus we have 1.4 upon 1.27 N. Now you have to calculate the change, which would be N upon N, and this would be 1.4 upon 1.27, and percentage will be calculated by multiplying 100. So here if you calculate this part, this will give you approximately 1.1, and this multiplied by 100 becomes 110%. That means the increase is of 10%. Now remember, here our answer is 110. So like we checked here, that if you take 100%, 100% is as it is. If you had got capital N as 100 here, that would mean there has been no change in the population and the population is constant. 100% means same. If you get say 90%, that means there has been a decrease of 10%. If you get 110 as in here, then it means 10% of increase over the 100. So that is how you calculate this increase and decrease, and that's why these words increase, decrease, doubled itself, all such words are very important to solve this question. Next we have the concept of successive discounts, and this will be helpful particularly in the topic of profit and loss. Now you often find that you get certain sale discounts, say you have 50 plus 50% discount. So this doesn't mean 50 plus 50 equals 100% discount and you are getting the substance for free. This is in fact, if say you have a product worth 100 rupees, you first get a 50% off. So 50% of 100 would mean an absolute value of 50. So minus 50 gives you 50. So now this is the 50%. Now over this 50, you get another 50% off, and 50% of 50 would mean an absolute value of 25. Thus now you are getting the product at 25 rupees and not for free. So that means overall you have the value change of 75%. So if you get 50 plus 50% off, this means basically a 75% off. So this is how we can calculate using this method. So this is called the product change method. This method is also very useful while solving the questions on data interpretation. Say you have two pie charts which talks about the sale of say car companies in 2 consecutive years, 2017 and say 2018. Now say we have a share of 25%, say this is by Maruti. Now that share has changed to 26% in 2018 and the overall market has changed say from 17 crores to 20 crores. Now you have to calculate the percentage change. Now what you will do in a normal way is you first calculate the 25% of 17 crores, then you calculate 26% of 20 crores, and then you take the difference and the overall value of this percentage, and then you calculate the percentage. Now that becomes a very tedious job. What you can do is to analyze the change in percentage, you first take say 100, then you see the change in the percent. Now 25 has changed to 26. Now that means a change of 1 percent points and 1 from 25. So that would mean a percent of 4%. Now you will remember these values eventually as you solve more and more problems. So 1 by 25 is 4%, that is 100 will now become 104 by this percentage change. And you also have to include the effect of this change from 17 to 20 crores. So now here the change is of 3 crores out of 17. So you calculate 3 by 17 into 100 as a percentage value and you will get something around 17.64. So increase of 17.64% over 104 will give you the final value. Say this is around 118. So that would mean overall this value has changed from 100 to 118, which is an increase of 18%. Now let's solve a question based on this concept. Gopal bought a cell phone and sold it to Ram at 10% profit. Then Ram wanted to sell it back to Gopal at 10% loss. What will be Gopal's position if he agreed? A. Neither loss nor gain. B. Loss of 1%. C. Gain of 1%. Or D. Gain of 0.5%. So here again we'll solve this question by the product change method. So we have say 100 as the original cost price at which Gopal had bought the phone. Now he sold to Ram at 10% profit, that is it will be plus 10%. So plus 10 on 100 will give us 110. That is an absolute value change of 10 as well. Now Ram has sold it back to Gopal at 10% loss, that is minus 10%. Now 10% of 110 will give you 11. So 110 minus 11 will mean 99. That is Gopal buys it back at 99, which phone has costed him 100. That is there is a change of 1 rupee, and since profit and profit percentage are calculated over the cost price only, so the original cost price was 100 and multiplied by 100 will give us profit percent. So this gives us 1% of gain or 1% of profit. So that's it in this lesson. We'll solve many more problems on profit and loss and other applications of percentages in our subsequent lessons. So keep watching and keep practicing.